I remember that from breaking my arm.
Yep.
Oh, my leg. I broke my leg. I got distracted because I need to start the live stream because my clock says 10:02. So join me if you so desire. Otherwise, it's good to check in with y'all. And maybe we'll do this again next week if you guys enjoyed it.
Sounds good.
Okay, bye.
Bye,
Okay, I'm ending the meeting and starting the podcast. Okay.
How long is the podcast? Just will it come on next?
No, you have to go to the website.
Oh my gosh, all this.
I know. It's gonna take me a minute though, so I'm gonna use the bathroom and start the. I gotta start the. I don't know. I'll do it. Just do it now and meet me there. Okay, hello. If there's anybody watching live, I was talking to my regular Monday morning students so that we could, stay connected. So I have a couple of little things to do. I'm sorry if you have a small window in which to practice. I don't mean to delay you. I will try to get started shortly here. Yeah, now you can see the microphone. Let me see if I can change the setup here a little bit so that you don't see the microphone. I know that microphone. Okay, now the microphone's out of the picture. I'd like to have this all squaresy. Okay, gotta set up this and this. So it is important, I feel, to have your space, have your space set up, set yourself up for success, which means hopefully somewhat sequestered if you have other people in the house, or it might be hard to stay away from pets. I know pets like to join in yoga classes, but I'm going to set myself up for success by using the bathroom before we start. So bear with me, I'll be right back, and then we will start practice. So use this time to set up your mat, get your blankets if you have them, blocks if you have them, a strap or a strap substitute. Just realized I really didn't need to start filming before I went to use the bathroom, but here, that's already what's happening. So, one more second. Here we go. Okay, come to a comfortable cross-legged seated position, perhaps up on some padding in the form of a blanket or a block. Settle down through your sits bones. Close your eyes and find a comfortable place to rest your hands on your thighs. Invite yourself here into this room, onto your mat, and into your body for the next 95-ish minutes of practice. As you arrive, Begin to notice where you're feeling, what you're feeling, a more overall vibe of your physical experience. And as you notice, can you approach your body at this moment with acceptance? So I noticed when coming to my mat yesterday to practice that the way that I was feeling was not something I really enjoyed. It was not a feeling that I really was comfortable in or welcomed that experience. But can you arrive in this moment with acceptance of where you are beginning in this practice? And from that place, we can then proceed. Notice your feet, ankles, shins, calves, knees, thighs. Relax, settle into your seat. Imagine energy extending from your lower body into the earth, establishing a connection between your body and the earth. And then from that deeply rooted seat, begin to grow tall along your spine. Shrug your shoulders up towards your ears, lengthening the sides of your body. Loop your shoulder blades together behind your heart. Feel the contraction of your upper back as your chest broadens and lifts, and then allow the weight of your forearms to melt towards the floor. Notice if the upper abdomen has jutted forward. Create a gentle contraction of the upper abdomen by drawing the left and right front lower ribs into a central point, and then drawing that point subtly towards your spine. Chin parallels the floor, ease the sides of the neck back, lengthen along the back of your neck as you lift through the crown of your head. Soften the expression of your face, forehead broad, cheeks slack, eyelids heavy. You might feel the cool or warm air of the room that you're in against your exposed skin. Can you soften at the edges of your physical being as though emitting a soft light or an aura? Turn your attention now to your breath, breathing in and out through your nostrils. Slow and deepen your breath. And transition to the practice of Ujjayi Pranayama, triumphant breath. To do this, draw in a gentle contraction at the back of your throat, and let that sound be a tool to bring you into the body and into the moment. Again, as you observe the breath, do so with acceptance. Recognize where the breath may be rocky or ragged. Do what you can to grow and deepen the breath. do our practice of box breathing today. So this 4-part breath practice consisting of an inhale, a breath retention or holding in, an exhale, and a holding out, a holding empty. So if you would like to engage bandhas with the holding in of the inhalation by tucking your chin gently to your chest for Jalandhara Bandha, and drawing in and up on your pelvic floor for Mula Bandha or root lock, as you hold your lungs empty, feel free to add those elements to the practice. Okay, so we'll do 2 rounds of breath together and then 2 rounds of breath with your own count. I will be using 4 count for each of the 4 parts of each breath. Okay, empty your lungs. Inhale for a count of 1, 2, 3, 4. Fill and hold, tilting your chin gently towards your chest for Jalandhara Bandha for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale with control. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold yourself empty. Mula Bandha. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, second round. 1, 2, 3, 4. Chin tilts down. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale with control. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold empty. Mula Bandha. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 2 more rounds on your own. When you have completed your 4 rounds of box breath, please bring your palms together at heart center. Press your palms lightly together as you widen out through your elbows and broaden across your collarbones. We will chant Om together 3 times before beginning the moving practice. Exhale your breath and inhale for Om. Bow your head to your heart, release your palms to your thighs, then slowly lift your head as you open your eyes. Okay, we're going to remain seated. We're going to start out slow today, really arrive. Switch the cross of your legs, bring your hands to the sides, and inhale, sweep the arms overhead, palms touch at the top of the breath. Exhale, hands through heart center and arms to your sides. 2 more times. Inhale, sweep the arms up, reach up out of the waistline. Exhale, hands through heart center and arms to your side. Shoulders roll back. 1 more time. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, this time, right hand behind, left hand crosses to the right thigh. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale, revolve. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead. Exhale, right hand to left thigh. Inhale. Exhale, twist right. Inhale. Exhale, twist left. One more round of this. Inhale. Exhale, twist right. Inhale. Exhale, twist left. Inhale, center. Exhale, fold over your right leg. Reaching through the left fingertips, rounding the spine. Continue to breathe here, tacking your left hip down towards the mat. Chin to chest, forehead towards or to the knee. Lengthen along the left side of the body as the hip tacks back. The fingertips reach, lengthening, breathing into the left side body. Slowly inhale, curl up through the spine, sweep the arms overhead. Exhale, turn the chest over the left thigh and round over the left thigh. Tucking the right tailbone, right side of the tailbone towards the floor, anchoring the right sits bone, reaching out of the right fingertips, lengthening and breathing along the right side body. Soften the edges of your mouth. Notice what you're feeling, where you're feeling. Let the sensations of your body in this shape bring you into the present moment. Again, invite yourself here and arrive with each breath, with each movement. Inhale back to center, perhaps sweeping the arms up. Once again, exhale and walk your upper body forward, fold forward gently. Keeping the hips grounded, reaching the arms forward, releasing the forehead down towards or to the mat. Again, let the posture bring you into your body. Let the experience of your body bring you into the present moment. Either walk your hands back up or with your next inhale, reach your arms overhead as you come back to seated upright, and exhale, arms release to your sides. We're going to come to Virasana or Hero's Pose. This pose might be aided with some proppage. So bring your knees together, angle your shins apart. Use the hands to move the flesh and muscle of your calves back and apart as you take a seat between your heels. And you may have noticed myself, I put a blanket underneath my hips. A block or a couple blocks might be appropriate for your practice. Do what feels appropriate. And then we're going to grab a strap or a strap substitute. Settle down through your sits bones. Once again, trying to get even weight between the left and right sides. Inner thighs wrap downward. Spine tall, head over heart, heart over the center of your pelvis. And once you've established your Hero's Pose, take the strap in two hands, shoulder width distance apart. As you inhale, sweep the strap overhead. Knuckles over the shoulders, shoulders down the back, lower ribs in and back, and then without moving the chest, can you start to draw the biceps back behind the ears? Keep your strap or strap substitute pulled taut, so arms drawing gently away from one another as you extend up through the knuckles, pull the shoulder blades down the back side of the chest, and start to move the arms into the back plane, the area behind you. Soften the edges of your mouth. Again, let the sensation of the shape draw you into your body and into the present moment. So some of these shapes, although not the shape you would photograph yourself in for your yoga journal cover, are quite effective in spite of their lack of flashiness. So recognize that you can go deep into any shape by noticing. Just go peel back the layers of the onion to these more and more subtle experiences. Okay, sweep the hands gently apart and then roll the shoulders back to bring the strap down behind your back. So this may be a very intense experience. The wider the hands are, the more you're going to be able to access this shoulder rolling. So exhale, the arms come down. Inhale, the arms come up. The closer the hands, the straighter the elbows, the more intense this exploration of the shoulders will become. So as I often remind you guys, especially early on in practice, we are just getting acquainted with our bodies on the mat as they are today and recognizing our specific needs. So if there's a point along this journey where you need to take an additional breath to really release some tension in the chest, then do so. If it feels appropriate to target one arm, you might bend the opposite elbow and straighten that shoulder that wants a little more attention. So begin to make subtle modifications to your practice to make it your own, make it the best practice for you. Okay, so release that, and we're going to do another shoulder opener. Extend your right arm overhead with or without the strap, and then you're going to bend your right elbow towards the ceiling, tap the base of your neck, right fingertips pointing down, left arm extends out, palm faces the wall behind you. Bend your elbow, and then reach for the strap behind you, or if you can, clasp fingertips, or even reach for wrists if that's available to you. And then hug the left shoulder blade gently onto the back of the chest as you reach the right elbow straight up. So this is a modification that I innovated. I'm sure other people have done it and found this stretch as well. But I really love here to tilt my left ear towards my left shoulder. So if you'd like to try that, do, and then tilt the head forward and back, and recognize again what you're feeling, where you're feeling. You might have the desire to close your eyes as you delve deeply into the right shoulder, the left shoulder. Notice if one shoulder is calling louder than the other. Try to keep the sits bones evenly grounded, feet relaxed, inner thighs spiraling downward. Okay. Lift the head back to center. Release the hands, and now we'll do the second side. Left arm extends up along the left ear. Bend the elbow, tap the base of the neck, right arm out to the right, palm faces back. Bend the elbow, reach for fingertips or strap. Left elbow towards the ceiling. Hug the right shoulder blade deeply onto the back of the chest, so the head of the right arm bone starts to move back. Okay, if you did it on the first side, and again would like that additional neck stretch here, release the right ear towards the right shoulder. Tilt the head forward and back. Pause in any place where you're feeling particularly tense or what do you call it? I want to use the word constipated, and it does not feel like the right word to use, but I said it anyway. So where is the energy prevented from flowing freely? Concentrate on that area and encourage movement through those spaces. Okay, bring the head back to center. Release the arms. And we will stand up. So come forward of your knees. Place any padding off to the side as you stand at the top of your mat. Lift and spread your toes, creating a wide base with your feet before placing your toes back down. I'm starting with my feet hip width distance, so that might be a good gauge. I'm gonna move my whole business up here. So establish your Tadasana, your mountain pose. Just actually needed to move it back. Okay, ground through the feet. Tone the muscles of your legs as though you're pulling tight stockings up your legs. Roll your shoulders back, palms face forward, shoulder blades on the back. Push into the floor and reach up through the crown of your head. Close your eyes for a moment or take a soft gaze at a distant imagined horizon. And again, let the name of the pose inform how you embody this shape, mountain pose. Become your mountain. Immovable, one with the earth, growing tall, broad. As you inhale next, sweep your arms overhead, palms touch overhead, and then exhale, gently bend your knees as you flow forward, fingertips to the floor, head releases, forward fold. Inhale, bring your palms to your shins, shoulder blades on the back, halfway lift. Exhale and fold deeply in, hips high, head low. Inhale, use the entire course of your breath for the palms to touch overhead, reach up, push down through the feet. Exhale, hands through heart center and arms to your sides. Palms roll open forward, shoulders roll back. Inhale, half Surya Namaskar A. Exhale, flow forward. Inhale, lift halfway, shoulder blades on the back. Exhale, fold deeply in, release your head. Inhale, circle the arms up, reach up, look up. Exhale, hands through heart center and arms to your sides. One more. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, flow forward. Inhale, lift halfway, shoulders on the back. And exhale, fold deeply in. Inhale to rise, arms overhead. Exhale, palms together and arms to your sides, Tadasana. Step your inner feet together, base of the big toes touch. Again, establish a wide base with your feet looking down. Put the toes down, root from your hips down through the soles of the feet. Pull on the tight stockings. Tilt the tailbone down as you lift through the fronts of the pelvic crests. Arms at your sides, palms forward, shoulders roll back. Inhale, sweep your arms overhead, interlace your fingers, cross your thumbs, reach up out of your waistline. Exhale, upper body leans to the right, hips shift gently to the left. Hips and chest squared forward. Tone the muscles of your legs, lift your kneecaps, lengthen from your tailbone down through your heels, and then breathe along your left side body. If you're feeling pain or compression in the low back, again, engage the legs, lengthen through the tailbone, and possibly don't lean over so far. So really make this pose about bringing you into the left side body and not about how deep the expression of how deep it looks like you are in your body. I'm really thinking about that because I'm just looking at myself in this pose right now. So I'm going to turn my gaze up because for me that slight variation on the shape really changes the experience. So notice if that is true for you as well. Do you like the gaze forward? Do you like the gaze up? Where are you feeling? What are you feeling? How can you use your breath to come deep into the experience of this shape, of this moment? Inhale, return to center, grow tall. Exhale, upper body to the left, hips shift to the right. Again, engage the legs, lift the kneecaps, hips to the right, upper body to the left. Square your hips and chest forward. Be in the expression of the pose that is correct for you in this moment. Correct. Should stay away from the term correct, but what feels appropriate for your body at this time. What helps you to feel, what helps you to come into the moment, to explore your body. If you'd like, turn your gaze up beyond your right tricep muscles. Relax your jaw, soften the edges of your mouth, breathe along your right side, shoulder, outer ribs, waistline, outer hip. Inhale to return to center, and exhale, release your arms to your sides. Let's do our back bend with the hands interlaced behind the back. With the knuckles at the low spine, encourage the tailbone to lengthen down, the front of the hip points to lift. Push down through your feet, lift into the back of your heart as your sternum opens and lifts. Look along the ceiling. Exhale, extend the knuckles. Shoulder blades on the back. As inhale, inflate the heart. Exhale, curl back. Start to look along the ceiling towards the back wall. Tone the muscles of the legs. Look back, curl back. Look back, curl back. Possibly, if it's okay for the neck, release the weight of the head back. If that does not feel okay, come back up. Look back, curl back, push down through the feet, and then bring the chest up, release the hands, shoulders roll forward, head comes up last. Whew, shake it out. Okay, inhale, sweep your arms overhead. Exhale, bend the knees as you fold forward. Fingertips to the floor or to blocks on the floor in front of you. Release the head down and walk out your forward fold. One knee bends forward, the opposite hip reaches up and back. Side be heavy, releasing through the low back, through the outer hips. Okay, from here we're going to bring the knees together, lift up onto the toes, squat down towards the heels once, if it feels okay for the knees, and twice. Okay, hips back up, heels down, walk the fingertips behind the heels, and now sit down into your imaginary chair, thighs parallel to the floor. Round your chin to your chest, forehead towards or to your knees. Pull your belly button in and up away from your thighs. Tuck your tailbone towards your heels, ankles and knees. Hug together, weight in the heels, weight in the fingertips. Round the spine. Create and explore space between the vertebrae along the backside for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Push your feet down, lift your hips up, walk your hands forward, fold forward. Inhale, palms to shins, shoulder blades on the back, chin and chest forward. Exhale, fold in, release your head, hands down. Inhale, circle up, arms overhead, palms touch. Exhale, hands to heart center and arms to your sides. Okay, 2 more steps to this fierce pose. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, flow forward. Inhale, palms to the shins, shoulder blades on the back. Exhale, take a seat in your chair. Round the spine, chin to chest, forehead towards or to the knees. Squeeze the knees together, squeeze the ankles in. Look forward, reach forward like you're holding a box. Reaching the box forward, pulling the waistline back, keeping the hips low, thighs parallel, ankles and knees in, weight in the heels. Look forward, reach forward, broaden your shoulders, broaden across your collarbones for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hips high, head low, hands down, forward fold. Inhale, palms to shins, shoulder blades on the back. Exhale, fold deeply in. Inhale, rise with the breath, arms overhead, palms touch. Exhale, hands through heart center and arms to your side, shoulder roll back. Last step, inhale, sweep up. Exhale, flow forward. Inhale, lift halfway. And exhale, take your seat. We're all in this together. Take your deep seat, round the spine, chin to chest, forehead towards or to the knees, belly button in towards the spine. Weight in the heels, look forward, reach forward like you're holding a box, keep the hips low, and then start to peel the biceps back behind the ears. Draw them back, curl the gaze up, lift the heart up, keeping the hips low, waistline back, weight in the heels, ankles and knees. Together, reach up, look up, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stand up, arms overhead, palms touch, exhale, hands through heart center and arms to your side, shoulders roll back. Phew. Okay. Let's do a little balancing on one foot. Step your left foot forward, hands to hips, right knee, right toes point out. Square your hips and chest forward, tone the muscles of your left leg as though you're pulling up a tight stocking. Reach down, place your right foot at the inside of your left calf or thigh, or lotus leg. Pull your heel in towards your hip, grab the outside of your right foot with your left hand, turn your knee down towards the floor, sole of the right foot up towards the ceiling. Square your hips and chest forward, possibly bring your right hand to your heart if you're holding your left foot. Possibly bring your left hand to your heart, releasing the foot. Hands to heart, arms overhead. Find your expression of your tree pose, Vrikshasana. So just as I invited you to embody your mountain, can you embody your tree? So again, the analogy of rooting down is very appropriate for this pose. So extending energy from your body down through that connection between your foot and the earth. Imagining those roots growing into the floor, down through the foundation of whatever building you're in, down into the earth below. And then from that support, growing tall. Broad across the chest, length along the back of the neck, expanding, growing tall through the crown of your head. And then I'll try to maybe find some stillness, or maybe imagine a blustery spring day where your leaves are rustling, your branches are swaying. Find some suppleness to your trunk here. Not me, I'm not finding that. I'm just trying to stay still today. Some days being still is what feels appropriate. Okay, arm down, foot down, shake it out. Let's do our hula hoop practice now. My hula hoop is indisposed, is that right? Okay, I'm not going to use my actual hula hoop. Okay, so one direction and the other direction. As I mentioned recently, I just think hula hooping is a great counter pose to a lot of our yoga practices. It just feels good. Right foot grounds, left knee out to left, hips and chest squared forward. Left foot to the inside of the calf, inside of the thigh, or take that lotus leg. Knee points down, sole of the foot turns up, hips and chest squared forward, tailbone lengthens down, possibly left hand to the heart. If your foot can stay where it is without the support of your right hand can come to the heart. And then let your tree grow. Grow down from energy from the body, moving down through the sole of the right foot, through the floor, through the foundation, into the earth. And then from that connection to the earth, grow tall, grow stable, grow supple. Okay. As you're ready, release the left foot down. Okay, hula hoop, one direction. I'm exaggerating my hula hoop right now. I'm just like having this really, really gigantic hula hoop. And the other direction. Okay, so what is next? We're gonna do a eagle pose, feet together, arms overhead. Exhale, right arm underneath your left, palms touch or grab shoulders. Exhale, take a seat in your imaginary bar stool, so not as low as your awkward chair. Left leg lifts. Either point the toes back or wrap the left foot behind your right ankle. Sink the hips low. Draw the knees towards the left, towards center. Elbows down, chest lifts, upper body back. Weight in the standing foot heel. Find a place to focus your soft gaze. Relax your face. Soften the edges of your mouth. Wrap your arms and legs tightly for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Unwrap the legs. Sweep the arms overhead. With an exhale, left arm underneath the right. Arms together. Palms touch or grab shoulders. Elbows down. Chest lifts up. Sink the weight into the heels, sitting the hips into your bar stool. This time, right leg lifts. Toes point back or wrap the right foot behind the left thigh. Elbows down, knees towards the right, towards center. Hips sink low, weight in the heel, upper body back. Wrap arms and legs tightly. Soften the edges of your mouth for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Unwind. Sweep your arms overhead, base of the big toes touch. Exhale, release your arms to your sides. Whew. Okay, more standing on one foot. Step your left foot forward. Stand onto your left foot. Bend your right knee forward, and then grab hold of the right foot. Try to situate the right heel below the right knee. Okay, step 1. Step 1 be here, nice rounded spine. Step 2, extend the right heel forward, pull the right toes back. Wrap the right outer hip towards the floor. Step 2. Step 3, look towards your toes. Start to bend your elbows down, round your spine. Chin to chest, forehead towards or to the knee. Look towards the belly button. Lift into your left kneecap, push down through your left foot. Elbows hug the sides of the right shin. Lift into the right kneecap. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release the right foot down. And second side. Whew. This is a tough one. Right foot grounds. Lift and spread the toes of the right foot. Create a wide base with the right foot. And then bring the left knee up. Heel below the knee. Interlace your fingers underneath your left foot. And either choose to stay here or attempt to extend the left leg straight, reaching through the heel, pulling back through the left toes, wrapping the left outer hip down. Maybe look forward as you pull the toes back. One more step if you'd like. Bend the elbows down. Round the spine, chin to chest, forehead towards or to the knee. Push down through the right foot, lift into the right kneecap. Tough one today. Hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release the foot. Okay, big toes touch. Interlace your fingers behind your back. Elbows point towards the back wall. Knuckles at the low spine. Encourage the length of your tailbone to root down as you curl your chest skyward. Look up. Extend your knuckles down. Open your chest up. And then begin to curl back. Standing back bend. Weight in the heels. Legs toned. Ground from the hips to the heels. Curl the body back. Release the head if that feels okay. If it didn't feel okay on the first go around, it probably is not going to feel okay on the second go around, so don't do it. Okay, bring the chest up, release the hands, shoulders forward. Head comes up last. Getting some heat going here. Okay, let's continue that warming trend. Left foot to the floor. Step into your left foot, right hand out to the right, palm faces skyward. Point the right toes, bend the right knee, reach for the inside of the foot at the ankle. Hug the knees in towards one another. Let the right shoulder be pulled back, so the left shoulder is in front of the right shoulder. Left arm towards the ceiling. Reach up out of the left waistline through the left fingertips. Choose to stay here, keeping the knees together, or begin to kick and pull. reach and kick. Lift your right thigh away from the floor as you push your foot, your ankle into your hand. Reach forward with your heart, reach forward with your eyes, reach forward with your left fingertips. Stand strong on your left leg. Push down, root down, draw from the earth, lift into the kneecap, kick and reach. Kick and reach, soften the edge of the mouth. If you fall out, good on you. You're just going for it. Go for it. I'm trying to go for it. So if you fall out, do it again. Take a little time here on this first side. Reapproach. Take your time. Go slow. Okay, I'm done, so let's be done. Shake it out, get loose. Second side. I was thinking while I was teaching that pose, it's like the value of reading a recipe before you do the recipe. Like when you do the recipe, you should, I sometimes read a recipe like 2 or 3 times in preparing myself mentally to actually do the thing. So you always have the benefit of the second side, like knowing the thing that you're gonna do because you just did it on the first side. So take that extra time to go through the motions of the pose. Do that preliminary work before you get to the peak expression of the pose. Okay, right foot down. Left palm out, left toes point, left knee bends, reach for the inside of the foot or the ankle, draw the knees in towards one another, let the shoulder be drawn back. Right arm skyward. Take your time here, lift up out of the waistline, reach, and then kick and extend, kick, extend. Upper body leans forward, ribs and arm parallel to the floor. Focus your gaze beyond your right fingertips. Again, if you fall out, then do the steps to come back in. Okay, play at your edge here. And that edge is that point when you're reaching, you're kicking so hard, they just fall right out of there. I'm falling out. I'm just falling the heck out of here today. So, again, approach your practice with some idea of acceptance today. I'm going to try to practice what I teach today. Okay. Let's keep going. Let me consult my notes as to what we'll be doing next. And we're just going to get down onto the floor. I'll give you a little extended instruction today in our headstand. So let's come to the wall if you're using the wall for headstand. And we'll start in a downward facing dog. First down dog of today's practice. Push the hands down and forward, shift the hips up and back. Take a couple breaths in your down dog, facing the wall. Root through the knuckles, spread the fingers, shift the hips up and back, keeping any amount of bend in your knees. Possibly taking this opportunity to walk your dog. And now bend your knees to the floor. If you're using the wall for headstand, or if you're not quite sure about headstand, then use the wall. Interlace your fingers and bring your knuckles about maybe 6 inches from the wall. Place your elbows shoulder width distance apart directly below your shoulders. So this is what my hands look like. A little bit of distance between the heels of my hands and my elbows are shoulder width distance apart. Okay, I'm going to bring that business to the wall. Tuck my, let my shoulders draw together on my back, shoulders away from the ears, lower ribs in and back, and then lift my hips up, tucking my toes under. Walk my feet forward so my shoulders remain over my elbows. Your shoulders will likely want to collapse in front of your elbows. Don't let that happen. Okay, so if you are not comfortable here, if you feel weak or unstable here, then work on this shape where you can get out of it easily by just bringing your knees to the floor. Otherwise, tuck your chin towards the chest, settle your head to the floor. Again, re-engage your shoulders away from your ears, walk your feet in anymore, lift one leg, hop the heels to the wall, maybe hips to the wall as well. Squeeze the legs together and eventually work towards balance, bringing the feet away from the wall. So practice something here. So maybe you're working on the strength to be more confident in kicking the legs up. Maybe you're working towards balance. Maybe you're working towards holding the pose for a longer duration. So if the neck feels unstable here, I suggest just sticking with the forearm or dolphin dog pose. I've been listening to a lot of the Hamilton soundtrack lately. I'm really loving it. 3 or 4 or 5, whatever years late to the game, but I don't mind. But anyway, there's one song called where the chorus is the world turned upside down, referring to the end of the Revolutionary War, but kind of in a world turned upside down moment right now, in our headstand and in our lives. So to be in this headstand, to establish a practice of headstand, we are developing new muscles. So as I mentioned, this idea of prolonging your headstand or working for a longer hold, if you are new to this practice, that might sound like a ridiculous idea that you could be up here more than 30 seconds. But as you turn your world upside down, your body does adapt and strengthen in this way. So the more you do it, the more you visit this upside down place, the better adapted, the stronger you get in this shape. And I really feel like it's great to be up here, and then there's this beautiful moment coming down from this shape that I really like to notice. I really like to languish in. I'm really always trying to use new words, and sometimes maybe I'm not using them correctly. But anyway, just chattering on while being on my head, one of my favorite things to do. So I encourage you all to explore this shape in whatever form it's taking today. Take any variations on the shape, taking the legs wide apart, or you could take the eagle legs. Just kind of testing your balance, experience the shapes in a new relation to gravity. Okay, when you are done, come down into a child's pose. And this is the moment I was referring to. So sit your hips back towards your heels. I encourage you to press your hands down and forward to really tilt your tailbone strongly towards your heels, grounding the hips before walking the arms forward, lengthening the torso forward and releasing the head downward towards or to the mat. Elbows can melt down, forearms grounded, palms open and soft. Arrive here with your breath. This is kind of the moment to feel the posture resound in your body. What are the residual effects of going upside down? So even if you are in down dog, that's a form of inversion where your hips are higher than your heart, your heart is higher than your head. So kind of a reversal of our normal situation of head over heart, heart over hips. Can you feel maybe a enlivened blood flow? And then from here, notice the difference in the upper body, upper back especially, as you sweep your arms back and let the weight of the arms release forward. Heads of the arm bones curl towards the mat. Palms might face up. Reconnect with your breath, with your body. I don't know if you guys can hear this, but my cat is really talking, missing Ava right now. Okay, push your way up to seated. And we're going to begin our back bending extravaganza today. So hopefully that sounds fun and exciting to you. So we'll start with a puppy dog pose. So take the outside edges of your mat in either hand. Walk your knees back so that they're a little wider than your hips. Tilt your tailbone towards the ceiling like you're doing cow pose. And then reach or push the sides of your mat forward. Reach your chin forward, melt your heart down towards the floor. So lengthen through your arms by really trying to stretch the top of your mat away from your hips. And then pull your shoulder blades together. So you might feel that strength, maybe even almost a cramping sensation in your upper back as your shoulder blades hug strongly in. Chin and heart melting down, inner thighs wrapping back and apart. So there's a broadening of the pelvis. And then from here, slide forward onto your belly. We're going to start slow. We'll be on our bellies for some time now. Chin on the mat, arms at your sides. Let the left leg relax. Tone the muscles of your right leg. Point back through your toes. Lift the right kneecap away from the mat. Keep the front of the right hip point grounded, and then begin to lift the right leg up. Reach back, lift up, reach back, lift up, reach back, lift up. Highest expression of this shape. And then release the right leg completely. Let the heel widen out to the right. Left leg. Point through the toes. Tone the muscles of the legs. Lift into the kneecap so the kneecap pulls away from the floor. Keep the left hip point grounded. Extend and lift, extend and lift, extend and lift. Higher, higher, highest, and release the left leg down. Release the heels out to either side, perhaps shake the hips gently side to side, and then point all 10 toes towards the back wall. Squeeze the inner legs together. Tone the legs. Keep the hips rooted, extend and lift, extend and lift, extend and lift. Just had to check out how high my legs are. Extend and lift, knees, thighs, upper thighs away from the floor, and release. Both heels out to either side of the room. Take your left cheek to the floor. Release the heads of the arm bones forward. Soften your neck. Let your upper back be broad. Lower back broad. Connect with your breathing. Slow, full breath in. Complete breaths out. Arrive with each breath. So this can be, so where are you at? Are you feeling like when you come to these more passive shapes, everything else, the rest of the world floods in and you feel this pressure and anxiety to leave your mat? Or can you really languish? Can you really embrace this moment, this opportunity just to be in your body, to be with your breath? Chin to the floor, point your toes, ground the tops of your feet, engage the muscles of your legs so that your kneecaps lift off of the floor as your feet remain grounded. Lengthen your tailbone towards your heels and then scoop it forward so you feel the front of your pelvis pushing down. Draw your lower abdomen in and up as though you're going to draw it off of the floor. And then let's take the hands, the wrists in line with the low ribs. Palms spread. Elbows towards the ceiling. Shoulders hug to the back of the chest. Inhale, peel your chin and chest away from the floor. Shoulder blades on the back, elbows reach back, elbows pull in, tops of the feet remain grounded, lower abdomen in and up. Feel the strength of your back body lifting your chest, and then begin to push down through your hands, pull back through the heels of the hands, elbows down, collarbones broad, sides of the neck back, crown of the head lifts, feet remain engaged. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower it down. Right cheek to the floor, heads of the arm bones forward, arms at your sides, big toes touch, heels wide apart, upper back broad, head heavy, neck soft, breath and awareness into the back body. And again, invite yourself into this moment. Let yourself be here, because I find it's a hard place to let myself be, but when I get here, it's so nice to just release the weight of the body, relax the neck, communicate with the breathing. Okay, chin to the floor, arms straight out to either side of the room. Palms face down. Tone the legs in together as you point the toes back. Inhale, peel chin and chest, arms and legs up away from the floor, take off. Use the strength of the back body to curl the chest up, to lift the front body off of the floor. Reach through the fingertips, lift through the crown of the head, lengthen back through the toes, squeeze the legs in, lift higher, higher, highest, and then let it go. Left cheek to the floor, heads of the arm bones, heads of the arm bones release forward, arms at your sides, big toes touch, heels wide apart. Head heavy, neck soft, upper back broad, return to the breath. I feel like it took a very long time for me, but because I find that these belly down back bend poses, these back strengthening poses, many things about them. One, I feel like they're one of the hardest things to motivate myself to do. Two, I feel like they really provide a lot of good strength, core strength in the back body, which is very helpful for us. It's just a really good place of your body to be strong in order to, combat injury and things like that. Third thing, that it's almost worth, it's, the challenge of these shapes, possibly the discomfort of these shapes, is kind of made worthwhile by how nice it can feel just to lay here on the belly, breathing. So this becomes such an integral component of the practice, the space between the back bends. Okay, let's do that same one. Chin on the floor, arms out. Point the toes, squeeze the legs. Inhale, take off. Shoulder blades on the back, reach out through the fingertips, squeeze the legs, point through the toes. Side of the neck back, crown of the head lifts. Use the strength of the back leg to lift the front body, less of your front body on the floor. Higher, higher, highest. And let it go. Right cheek to the floor, head to the arm bones forward. Head heavy, neck soft, big toes touch, heels widen apart, lower back broadens. Return to your breath. Let the consciousness ride the waves of each breath, each swell, each ebb. Okay, chin to the floor, prop up into Sphinx Pose. So elbows below the shoulders, forearms parallel, palms on the mat, shoulders away from the ears. Isometrically draw the elbows back to extend the chest forward. Okay, from here we're going to come to half frog pose. Bring your left fingertips towards your right elbow, look over your right shoulder, bend your right knee, reach for the inside of the foot or ankle with your right hand. Pull your heel towards your outer hip, possibly using this crazy hand motion of bringing the, all this wood really blends in with the color of the tone of my skin. Okay, so I'm making a little pistol with my right hand, bringing that, my base of my right big toe, the pistol into that base, and then pulling my heel towards my outer hip, and then spinning my knuckles forward over my toes to point my elbow up. If you have the space for that. If your shoulder is not allowing that, or your hand or your quads are not allowing that, then be where you're at. Right ribs forward, left ribs back, square the hips and chest forward. And again, if you want more from this, left hand can come down. You can come to kind of a more of a cobra shape in the upper back. Kick the foot into the hand, extend back through the right knee. So you got a shoulder opener, a quad stretch, a little back bend. Okay, release the foot, release the forearm back down, and right fingertips towards the left elbow. Bend the left knee, reach for the inside of the foot, pull the heel towards the outer hip, spiral the knuckles forward in the same manner. For some reason, that is just like the hardest thing to teach somebody. It's really confusing how to get the knuckles pointing forward over the toes. If you have it and you're like, that's not confusing at all, then like, that's cool, I'm really glad, because it's not that complicated, but for some reason it can be. Okay, chest squares forward, heel pushes towards the outer hip, maybe come up onto the right palm so the chest lifts higher, extending back through the tailbone, back through the left knee, push the foot into the hand, push the hand into the foot, shoulder opener, quad stretch, little back bend. Soften the edges of your mouth. Notice what you're feeling. Again, use the experience of your body in the shapes to bring you into this moment. So if you are just currently establishing a home practice, as I think many of us are, I know it's hard. It's so challenging to establish something new, but I recommend trying to practice in the same place every time. And I know for me, practicing in this room, the moment I start talking, the moment I go into the dialogue, I kind of just arrive there because I've done it so many times. There's a memory of this experience in this space. Okay, next we're going to do another shoulder opener. Take your gaze to the right, align your right thumb with your gaze as you extend your right arm out to the right, and then we're going to roll up onto the right shoulder, stacking the hips first, checking in with the right shoulder, maybe walking the right fingertips further out to the right, maybe placing some padding underneath the right side of the head. If you want more from this, if you're not feeling a whole lot yet, you might bring the left foot to the floor. Left hip moves deeper towards the floor. If you're not feeling this yet, you might bring your right foot to the floor. So you might try that, and like me, I tried it, and I'm like, no, that's too far. So, and the last thing you might do is sweep the left arm back and try to grab fingertips. So I called it, this is kind of akin to, this type of pose. I compare it to like a pigeon pose. So once you have the expression of the shape, it's not that it's so hard, it's not like it takes a lot of strength to hold your body in that shape, but you're just kind of like, it's tough, it's challenging to be with the sensation of your right shoulder here. So maybe even the upper ribs are being affected. So whatever you're feeling, try to get to a place where you can be present with it, where you can continue to breathe. So that is always one of the challenges of the yoga practice, is not only physically doing the shapes, but mentally being present with the breath and with the body through the experience of the shapes. And I think that, practicing at home, that's even a bigger challenge, because you do have that, I think for me, there's that idea in the back of the mind, like, I could just leave, I could just stop. Nothing's really holding me here, and that's a hard place to get through. The more you do it, the more you go to your mat to practice, and then see the practice through, whatever you have committed to at the beginning of your time, the easier it's going to be. And some days it won't be easy. Some days it'll be hard. Okay, back to your chest. And then take your left arm out like a wing. Line your gaze up with your left thumb, then turn your left cheek to the mat. Stack your hips. Listen. Assess. Prop the head if necessary. Reach the left fingertips out to the left. And then if you want more from this, right knee down. Front of the pelvis opening towards the ceiling. Right hip inching towards the mat. Next would be to bring the left foot down. Hips even deeper, back of the hips even deeper towards the mat. Right arm back, reaching for the right fingertips. And this is likely to present itself differently on each side. So I frequently mention this when coming into this shape, is this idea that the dominance of one side of your body in many of the activities will likely show itself in the experience of these two poses. So be with your breath in this shape. recall this idea of increasing the movement of energy through those blockages that you might be encountering. Okay, come back onto your chest. Okay. Arms at your sides, chin on the mat. Bend your knees and flex your feet. Reach for the outer ankles. If you can, grab both ankles. If you cannot, grab right ankle first, and then we'll do the left ankle on our second set. Hug your ankles and knees in towards one another. Let your shoulders be hugged deeply onto the back of the chest. Kick your ankles into your hands. Lift your thighs. Roll your shoulders back. And then maybe rock, sway forward and back with the breath. So consider the mechanics of this pose, the ankles pressing strongly into the fingers, pulling the arms straight, pulling the shoulders back. So there's a degree to where you just let the shoulders be drawn back, and then there's a degree to which you are actively expanding the chest. Release down. Left cheek to the floor, head to the arm bones forward, big toes touch, heels widen apart, head is heavy, neck is soft, arms are heavy, upper back is broad. Return to your breath. Okay, chin to the floor. Point your toes, bend your knees, reach for the outside edges of your feet. Tone ankles and knees in towards one another. Roll your shoulders together behind your heart. Kick and lift, thighs away from the floor. So either point the toes, or if you had the right ankle on the first side, grab the left ankle this time. Keep the foot flexed. Kick and lift. You'll notice the legs will be a little higher in this expression of the pose. More on your abdomen. You might still sway with the breath. Kick and lift, start to look up. Imagine your toes coming up over the crown of your head. This always reminds me of Anna, who could actually see her toes over the crown of her head. Shout out to Anna. Exhale, release. Right cheek to the floor, heads of the arm bones forward, big toes touch, heels widen apart. Come back to the breath, come back to the present. So this was a good start for our 3-day streak of back bends. So this is Monday. Tomorrow will be Tuesday. Tomorrow, if you did this class, you'll be warmed up from today for tomorrow. So I'm proposing that tomorrow we will be doing some wheel pose and possibly setting the foundation for some drop backs. We are running out of time today, so here's some incentive to join me again tomorrow. And I can just imagine Lynn at home scoffing at that. Chin on the floor, tuck your toes, plant your wrists by your ribs, send your hips all the way back to your heels for an extended child's pose. Tuck the tailbone down, reach the arms forward, and then push your hips up and back into downward facing dog. Push the hands down and forward, shift the hips up and back. With an inhale, lift your right leg. Look to the top of your mat and exhale, lunge your right foot between your hands. Wow, our first lunge, late on in the game. Hands on either side of your front foot. Melt your hips down and forward, right thigh parallel to the floor. Feel your lunge for a moment. Recognize how it feels doing this pose so late in the practice. After all of those back bends, is the sensation of the pose somewhat different, somewhat more or less intense, different concentration of the stretch from where we usually practice this pose. Left palm to the floor, right hand to your right thigh, revolve your left ribs towards your right inner thigh, sweep your right arm up. Look up, reach up, possibly curl open. Embrace the sky. And then look down, hand down, back knee down. Walk your right foot over to the left, setting up for Pigeon Pose. So prop this pose. Likely a prop would be most helpful underneath the right hip. So what tends to happen is we kind of fall onto the right hip and left hip lifts up. We want the hips at equal distance from the ground. So if that means sliding a blanket or a block underneath the right hip to get it lifted, then do so. Okay, walk the left leg, make sure it's tracking straight back. You can either point the toes or flex the foot by tucking the toes under. And then lift the heart, lengthen the torso, and then drape the length of your torso forward, possibly onto forearms, and then find a place to rest the head. Okay, as I mentioned before with that shoulder opener, the type of this pose is not the physicality, the strength to hold this shape is not very demanding. What's demanding here is the amount of sensation, and can you just be with that? Can you accept it? And if you cannot, can you find a way to adjust your pose so that you can? But also there's that challenge of just being in an uncomfortable position, being with something that feels like a lot. We do need to, I think that it's helpful to push yourself to into these somewhat uncomfortable positions and try to stay with it when you are safe. This is a safe space. Unless you are in pain, hopefully you know that pain, where that pain is, and where your body's telling you no. It's an interesting place to navigate the body. Okay, 3 breath challenge. 3 slow, deep, conscious breaths with your body in this shape. As you begin to complete your 3rd breath, make your way out of this shape back into downward facing dog, and you might like to walk out your dog, shifting your hips side to side, up and back. Okay, 2nd side, left leg lifts as you inhale, lift to the top of your mat. Exhale to lunge your left foot forward, create that long stride. Knee over the heel, hands on either side of the front foot. Melt your thigh parallel to the floor, lift through the back, inner upper thigh. Shoulders away from the ears, gaze forward. Again, arrive in your lunge. Notice what it is right now, how it is at this point in the practice. Right hand to the floor, left hand to your left thigh. Begin to revolve your right ribs towards your left inner thigh, stacking your shoulders, keeping your legs and hips as they were. Left arm to the sky. If you'd like, open up, embrace the sky, sides the neck back, tilt the tops of the ears back. And then look down, hand down, knee down. Walk the left foot towards the right wrist. Shin somewhat parallel or parallel-ish to the top of your mat. Look back at the right leg. Either walk the leg back or just make sure it's pointing straight back. Square the hips and chest forward, possibly cropping underneath the left hip. curl the chest open, look up, and then drape the length of your torso forward and down. So if you really visit this area of your body a lot, have done a lot of the work and faced the tension of the left hip, those large, what might feel like cemented muscles of your left hip. If you have really addressed those muscles, you might notice that your hips are getting lower to the floor. You might even be able to extend your arms forward. So the expression of your pose may change over time. And you find that out by listening. Practice and listen. Come back to your breath. Let the sensation that the posture is bring you into the body with the breath in the present moment. Three breath challenge. 3 slow, deep, conscious breaths in this shape. As you have completed 3 breaths, make your way into a final downward facing dog for today's practice. Hands down and forward, hips shift up and back. Walk it out if you'd like. And as you're ready, knees to the floor, swing your legs forward, come to lie on your back. Take your feet as wide as your mat, arms out to a T, palms face up. Exhale, windshield wiper your knees to the right. Inhale, draw the knees through center, and exhale, let the knees fall to the left. Synchronized movement and breath as you massage your low back into the floor, as you release the weight of your head, your chest, your arms. Knees back to center after visiting the left, and then knees in and up towards the armpits. Grab hold of the outer edges of your feet. Shins perpendicular to the floor, soles of the feet open to the ceiling. Rock side to side in happy baby. Okay, feet together. Interlace your fingers around the outer edges of your feet, soles of the feet together. Extend out through your inner thighs in a reclined butterfly pose. Get your low back grounded somewhat. Push your feet into your hands, head to the arm bones, lift away from the floor. And lastly, give yourself a hug. Did you make it to the end of the practice? What? That's amazing. So if you just did it this first time, great setup for the future. Wrap your arms around the legs. Tuck your chin to your chest, pull your forehead towards or to your knees, squeeze in. And then let it go. Please, please, please take your Savasana and set yourself up well. Meaning, if you are cold, put on clothing or cover up with a blanket. If you feel discomfort, pain, compression in the low back, place a rolled up blanket or a bolster underneath your knees to better ground your low back. As you are ready, extend out through your legs. Place your heels wider than your hips, and then allow the weight of your feet to widen out to either side of the room. I like to do this little added movement of pushing my heels down, lengthening the tailbone, and then extending out through the legs as I release the weight of my pelvis. Arms at your sides, palms turn up, elbows down one at a time to tuck your shoulder blades gently underneath your chest. Perhaps the head feels most supported on a little bit of padding in the form of a pillow or a blanket. Tilt the chin gently towards the chest, lengthen the back of the neck before releasing the weight of the skull, the weight of the brain. Soften the features of the face. Let yourself be here. Be here in rest. Be here in stillness. And this is the hardest place to be in your home practice. Am I right? It's hardest for me. See it through for you. Feel the body on the earth. All those spaces where your physical being are making contact with the surfaces beneath you. Feel energy from your body extend through those spaces. Feel your connection to the earth. Feel your oneness with the earth. Feel the body slowing down. Reside in the body. Mimicking this slowing, cooling, calming trend. here if you feel compelled. Otherwise, begin to move the extremities of your physical being, fingers and toes, wrists and ankles. Bend the knees eventually, feet to the floor, right arm along your right ear. Roll to your right side, transitioning out of our corpse pose into this fetal position. From here, pushing up into a seated position. Settle into the seat, grow tall along your spine, and bring your palms together in front of your heart. We'll chant Om one single time to close this morning's practice. Exhale and inhale for Om. Thank you for your presence, your patience, your hard work throughout today's practice. As I had mentioned, we will hopefully be building on today's practice with tomorrow's practice by deepening our back bending tomorrow. So please join me tomorrow and Wednesday, the 31st and the 1st of April. The light in me honors the light in each of you. Namaste. So if you were here for the streaming practice, please let me know if you have any thoughts, suggestions for the future, or if you just want to tell me what you're up to, who you are. I'd love to hear that. So I didn't put any message on the chat, but you're all always welcome to be in the chat and introduce yourself or make a suggestion for a class. Send me pictures through the Athens Public email, and I'd love to see you guys. I did a little Zoom meeting with my Monday regulars. If anybody is interested in doing a meeting like that before class, we can set that up. Just navigating this current paradigm, and I'm glad you guys are taking care of yourselves through your practices. I really appreciate having the idea of somebody out there. Somebody out there watching. Okay, turning off the stream now. Join me tomorrow for those that promised back dropping work. It will be